This is a 1930-ish Midget Racer. From what I can gather, it used to race at the Edmonton Raceway. Probably in that time frame, 30s or 40s. I just spent probably since January. Brought it back right from a derelict thing that was sitting out in the weeds in Christina Lake in southern interior BC. Gentleman bought it, brought it down here, and I started to work on it. Cut down Model T chassis, drivetrain, 1929-ish Star transmission. It's a 1914 J model Harley motor tied to the transmission. For those astute Harley engine fanatics, you'll notice that the gear cover is probably from a 29 J model. Carburetor is a Schwebler Deluxe Model 67, which apparently was off of the 45 models, not off the J model Harley. I completely rebuilt it, made a lot of the engine components. It runs pretty good. It's a constant loss oil system. You can see the sight glass in the lower left there. That tells how much oil is in the crankcase. And then you can drain it off, open another petcock, and oil slowly comes in from the oil tank that's behind the seat. I designed the transmission engine mount system so that none of the clutch force is transmitted in the crankcase of the engine. When it was originally designed, they had the big, about a 70-pound flywheel bolted directly to the engine, and of course as soon as you push the clutch in, all that force went into the crankcase and it broke the tabs off the crank. You can see the chain coupler down in there that I used. Seems to work pretty good. The flywheel is isolated from the motor, and hopefully it can have a long, happy life. Gas tank sitting over the steering column there. When I first got it, there was tabs at the front of the bodywork, lifting the front of the body up 5 or 6 inches, and I couldn't really determine why they were there. I found out the other night when I went down a hill towards the beach area and tried to come back up the hill with a quarter tank of fuel, which then is lower than the carburetor, and it doesn't really want to work very well. So the owner's responsibility is going to have a full tank of fuel, and then it'll work good.